If I'm being honest, this is an announcement I didn't really want to make, but here we are. I am quitting my 52 book challenge, and I wanted to let you know about it for a couple of reasons. So you may not have been following, but at the end of last year, I announced I wanted to do this crazy thing. I wanted to read a book a week for 2024. I love reading. I'm constantly reading. And I had this incredible interaction with a 14-year-old boy who emailed me looking for advice on how to be successful in life. And I had told him that I thought the secret to success was just to read. If you only could do one thing as a 14-year-old, it'd be to start reading. And I said, read a book a week on personal finance, business, relationships, communication, health, spirituality, all of it. Like, read everything. You're going to leapfrog everybody else. And in sending that email to this kid, because of the advice I give my own daughter, I've been getting her into reading, I realized, dude, I should do this myself. And so I love challenges, gave myself the challenge, announced it here for accountability. I've posted my reading list, and I've been reading a book a week and doing a review every single week since January 1. And I've gotten through probably 19 or so books. Officially, I'll tell you the unofficial number in a second. And I'm done. I'm done. So I got three reasons why, and I hope this will be helpful for you. First of all, just know, like, this takes a lot for me to post this because I complete everything I start. I am good at challenges, and the reason I post challenges publicly, and I have since 2009 when I started doing the Recording Revolution, my first business, I would do recording and music challenges publicly. I do them because they force me to get better. If I didn't tell anybody about my challenge, I wouldn't have any accountability to do it. So I back myself into corners, and I usually perform well. And I was performing well. That's what Graham does. I set out to do something and I do it, which is a strength. It's also a weakness. So the number one reason why I'm quitting is because it just was taking the fun out of reading. I'll be honest. Like, ironically, I might end up reading a book a week for the rest of the year, but if there's no challenge, I might actually do it out of joy. I was finding myself in this weird predicament where a couple of things were happening. One, I get book recommendations from people, and every time I hear about a book, I buy it from Amazon. If you ever hear about a book, here's just a simple rule. Just buy it. Just order it. Have it delivered to your house immediately, and put it on your shelf, and then read it when you get a chance. Like, it's worth the $25 because there's going to be hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of life wisdom inside of that book. So I buy books every single day, which is crazy. My books are piling up. And then what happens is I've got my list of 52 books that I'm reading here publicly, but then I have a bunch of other books that I just start reading, or I'm reading as part of a group. I'm in a mastermind, we're reading a book. I'm in a men's small group at my church for business leaders. We're reading a book there. I mean, I'm reading multiple books on top of the books I'm reading here. And they're not necessarily books that I would have put in my challenge because I'm like, they don't really fit in the categories I was going to put them in, or it's not like the type of book I figured I would share here. So I've been double reading, sometimes reading 2 books a week, even though I'm not publishing or posting about all of them. And then on top of that, because I did this challenge where I said, hey, I'm not only going to read a book a week, but part of the accountability is I'm going to share a little 5 to 9 minute review or synopsis here on the show. Well, I've backed myself into this corner where I have to review a book every single week. The problem with that is I have to get over to my desk, my office. It's not at the house. I have an office downtown to get in front of my camera, my microphone, and I'm not in the office every day. So now I'm like trying to coordinate my reading to make sure I finish reading a book, not just at the end of the week, but on a certain day in advance of me being able to make time to record a quick little 10-minute thing and get it out there for you. And so that was creating an additional level of pressure of I've got to get the thing scheduled to film the thing, and I can only be in the office certain days of the week. So I'm done. I'm done with that. I love reading, and as an author myself, I really believe in the value of books. And so the moment that I'm squeezing the life out of something I love, I'm like, it's time to stop. So I'm doing this for myself. Why tell you about it? 2 reasons. One, some of you are incredible and you follow like everything I post. And if I stop doing something, like if I drop off the map with these book reviews, you would notice and you would be messaging me like, hey, what's going on? What's the next book? And one of you is my mom. My mom checks up on me on this stuff. So I didn't want you to worry, and I wanted you to know. But 2, and maybe this is more important, is I just want you to know in case you felt any pressure to keep up with what I was doing. Maybe you're trying to read a book a week, or maybe you were reading a book a month or 2 books a month, and maybe you were falling behind on your own challenge. I just want you to know it's okay to quit things. I don't like to quit things. And ironically, I was thinking about this last night when I was talking to my wife about it. The very first book I reviewed and read this year was The Dip by Seth Godin, which is all about knowing when to quit and when to stick it out. And so this is one of those things that I'm like, it's time for me to quit. So pretty ironic that was the first book I read this year. And it's good. I'm going to quit so that I can be freed up to read on my own schedule. I tend to go in waves, so there'll be weeks where I don't have time to read because I'm head down on a project. And then there'll be weeks where I will read almost a book a day. And so I'm going to go back to giving myself that sort of ability to compress or stretch out the time horizon for reading and not force myself to read a book every 7 days like clockwork, because it was backing me into a corner. And I wanted to give you that permission as well, that you can quit something if it's not serving you and it's not moving you closer to your goals. And there's so many, parallels we could associate to this in business, which I won't get into, but certainly offers or projects. I've closed down masterminds, memberships, multiple memberships. I've taken down one-on-one coaching. I've brought it back. I've done all kinds of quitting, if you want to call it that. If my values have changed, my desires have changed, my season doesn't allow me to do it. If to do some things, I have to shut off other things. For example, even my new book, Rebel, which is coming out later this year, you should pre-order it if you haven't already, therebelbook.com. To write that book last year, I needed to shut off my mastermind. I'd free up some space to go into like book writing mode. And that was really important. This year, I've shut down my membership in December to give myself the brain space to focus on launching and birthing this book out into the world appropriately and doing more speaking. And so, yeah, it's okay to quit things if it means it allows you to do something else. And maybe you can pick that thing back up again if you want later. But that's it, my friend. Just a little announcement here to let you know. I'm still here, still doing content each week. I just won't be reviewing these books publicly for you each week. I would say if I have the total count, which I should have written down before this, I've probably read 25 to 26 books in the first 4.5 months of the year. It's pretty good. But I'm not going to be keeping up with the rhythm that I had set off before. Let me ask you 2 questions. One, if you were following along with my 52 book challenge, what was the most interesting book that I reviewed? Let me know. And 2, how many books have you read this year and how many more do you want to read? Even if it's just one book, if you've read one book this year, you're already pacing more than most adults. How many more books do you want to read this next year? Hopefully, we'll at least read one incredible new book coming out September 3rd called Rebel, Find Yourself by Not Following the Crowd. And honestly, I will plug that book as much as I possibly can. If you have not pre-ordered it, please don't wait to pre-order. Do it right now. It's only $25. I'm giving you over $300 worth of bonuses if you take your receipt to therebelbook.com. You can pre-order it right there at therebelbook.com. You can pick your retailer of choice, but wherever you pre-order the book, bring your receipt back to therebelbook.com and enter it in there to get over $300 worth of bonuses, including the Rebel Journal, which you can do the exercises from the book immediately, a 60-minute video masterclass with my friend John Gordon, where I teach you the concepts of the book. So it's like a mini course. You're going to get 30 days of virtual coaching from me in your inbox with the 30-day Rebel Challenge, which you can kickstart whenever you want. And I have an exclusive community where I'm engaging with the readers of my book, those who have pre-ordered the Rebel community. You get access to that community where I'm going to be doing some live coaching and some cool stuff inside as we ramp up towards the book launch. It's all free if you just pre-order the book and bring your receipt to therebelbook.com. All right, my friend. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for your grace. Thanks for your support. And I'll see you on next week's Graham Cochran Show episode.